Okay, as I wait for this project to load, I've just backed it up. I've just done a complete backup. I'm going to zip some folders from inside the project. The standard assets, Malbers, animations, and in vector controller. That's basically the dragons, the first person controller, and the standard assets that may have something to do with it. And also, I'm going to do the same with nature manufacturers, because I think I'm going to, this is like a 21 gigabyte folder, and the only thing I really need now from nature manufacturer is the water, the rivers, RAM, River Auto Material 3. So I'll have to delete that folder and then reinstall River Auto Material, and that should leave the rivers and lakes intact, but I'm going to back everything up just in case. And the same with, well, actually the Malbers. I'm going to just reinstall. There's a few things that need installing. There's a HAP horse riding asset. There's a dragon, and there's the wyvern. Unker and Ervil, I think those called. And then there's the animal controller. I think that's included with the HAP horse riding controller thing asset. And there's the another one, an activator, yeah. So I haven't seen it. I haven't shown it in this project yet, but the ultimate selector, not activator, is when I press the right stick, a window opens, a UI, user interface, with the dragon, so you can choose a dragon. I'm just using the purplish dragon that I've been riding around in so far to test. I've been using that as just to test, basically. Eventually, it will just be the character, and it will have to select a dragon. But the dragons are going to open up based on the fact that the character has to collect some items to earn points to open the dragons, to earn coins, if you like. And then he has to buy the dragon with the coins. That system was set up, but I don't think of late it's been working. And I'm going to upgrade this anyway, so after that I'm not sure. I may have to approach the developer again to have him do what I need to do, but I'll have the backup anyway. It's something to do with, see if I can find it easy enough. Would be in scripts, and I think there's probably too many to be scripts. Selector data. Yeah, I can't see it offhand, but it's in the selector. You can see the script, which script it uses. Oh yeah, so nature manufacturer is going to take some time to to back up to zip. But I'm now wondering whether there's some rocks, advanced foliage, advanced rock pack. I'll have to have a look at that beforehand to see if these are HDPR compliant. And then I can use them in the scene, because one of the next things that I want to do, I want to add stones and rocks to the beach and sand areas, as well as probably different stones and rocks into the rivers and lakes. And then after that I'll be painting a few more trees, the ones that I like. If you remember from a few videos ago, the trees that I like, I think they're pine trees, and a few more of those. And then over time I will develop the grasses and change the grasses round, and after I've contacted Procedural Worlds about the shader that's a bit dodgy. And the one's working now, that's working, but it's not as I prefer the other one. I've seen it in action. I don't know why it doesn't work. It worked immediately as soon as I created another project, which led me to reopening this project again. And it was working in that project, and then all of a sudden it's not working in that project, and it wouldn't work in this project. I don't know why. It just all of a sudden stopped working. But it did work initially. Anyway, so I'm going to pause this video now and wait till this is backed up and the project's open, because I've got to start removing some of these assets that aren't in use, because this project is 116 gigabyte. Well, Nature Manufacturer, that's 21 gigabyte. And I think, to be honest with you, I think there's other things that they have demo scenes and things like that. I can remove all the demo scenes. I mean, what's this one? That's only a small one, that, but some of them are quite large. But I'll have to be careful what I'm actually removing, because see things like these scenes and that in for this Emerald Animal Control. This is what controls all the animals, the bears and things that are walking around. But I'll probably update this as well. I'll update anything that can be updated, and then start removing things. But I do want to update the Malbers dragon to see if that'll fix the fireball, etc. Although what I could do, and it's a possibility that I might do, see, that's 2 gig there in that asset. This is like a jungle, and I'm not using that at all. I may bring some trees in, possibly, but I'll think about that later. There is an area of the map of where I want to have it's pretty flat, and it's got parts of sand and grass all in a purling pattern, and I do want to remove the grass and make it into like a sand dune, deserty type of area. So I may have use for some of these trees. If that's the case, I'll leave the whole asset in. I won't just remove everything except for those trees, because that will be too much of a pain. This is only really a pain when I come to backing it all up, when I come to backing the whole game up. There's out looking here, this terrain stitch, that also brings to mind that there is, in one of the terrain tiles in this project, there's a big square cut out, and I think that's when I had there was another asset attached to to each terrain, which allowed you to build tunnels into the terrain. Now that was before Unity actually added the tunnel in, creating holes in terrains, etc., into the project, or it was when I used the terrain hole maker in Unity to test building a tunnel, and there's an hole there basically, and I'm not sure, I haven't looked into it, whether you can actually fix an hole, or I'll have to put some rocks there or something like that to hide the hole, because at the minute you can fly through the hole. So that's going to be a while. Anyway, I'll pause this and start up again when the project's open. And before I go any further, there's the hole, a massive hole in the terrain. I think I tried, like I said, I think I tried to build a tunnel. I was testing it to see how it worked, because at the time I had a thing called, I think it was Digger, and that created holes in terrains. And then Unity came out with their own version. But anyway, there's the hole that I need to fix. It's a big arsehole. Okay, so while this imports the backup files that I've created, the zip files, I want to tell you a few things that I've done off screen. First, the grass. I've changed the colour of the grass texture to be lighter and closer to the grass colour. I've also gone through post-processing, and I have changed the colours, so it's got a bit of a hue to it, to the terrain now. See if I can find it and tell you exactly what I've done. There's colour curves. I've changed the red, the green and the blue. These were all originally diagonal lines straight out here, and I've changed, I added a central point, as you can see. You can add markers, add key. I added a central key and moved it around in that shape till I found out what I wanted, and that was for each colour. And so that's the red, that's the green, and that's the blue. There's possibly a little bit too much green, which I'll come to later when I've added other things and things have changed, and as it goes I may change them again slightly. Also, in screen space reflection, and some of you, if you're a developer, you'll already know this, I've managed to sort the reflections out. They were on low, and I've changed them to medium, and that's all that it took. So see, now they're low. But I may change them to high to test it out, because as I fly, as the dragon flies, there's a Y it makes. If the dragon is flying and flapping its wings towards the shadows, there's a white. You can see the shadow, the reflection is blocked out where the wings flap on either side. And also, as the character walks by, if I was on this land and the character walked by and you could see this in the background, you could see an outline around the character which is kind of like a white. as if there was an invisible texture there that was slightly visible. But so I'll leave it for now at that, and that's basically... Is that all I've changed? Yes, I think that's all I've changed. Oh, I've changed all the dandelions. I changed those to daisies, and I reduced the size of them to make them smaller so they're less intrusive, and you can hardly see them. But they are there somewhere. And basically that's all I've done. So now, so you can see this tree there where the shadow is. It's any object, it's not just, there's an object in front of this shadow reflection, and it's blocking it out. Look, as I move across, it's removing and now it's onto the left hand side of the tree. That's just another problem. One problem solved results in another, so eventually we will get to it. So that's basically all I've done. I've just changed a few colours to make it a bit more like how I want it. See, it was kind of realistic as it was with the green grass, but I made it slightly greener to make it more gamified rather than realistic. I mean, to go for realistic, you've got to know what you're doing, and basically, to be honest with you, I don't. As you can see there, the daisies are much smaller. There they are. And but the grass, as with most things, I will come back to it later. Same as the rivers, I will paint the transparency between the change between the river and the sea later. I mean, I might not end up having this sea. I might change the sea completely. But I don't know about that. In fact, I'll just check actually. See if it's just the sea that's causing this problem, this reflection issue, or whether it's all water, so all surfaces. Yeah, it seems to be just the sea, just the ocean. Let's go to this other side and see if we can reflect a tree. No, that's too far away. But I think it's looking like it's just... It's looking like it's just the ocean, but I'm not seeing any reflection there at all, really. Anyway, I'll move to that later. So now, I'm going to end this video, and then I'm going to come back and upgrade the dragons. So I'll catch you in a short while.